Heartbreaking news is coming out of Hollywood. Actor James Ransone took his own life at the age of 46 on December 19, 2025. He was best known to audiences for his unforgettable role as Ziggy Sobotka on The Wire, as well as his powerful performance in Generation Kill, roles that left a lasting impression on so many viewers. What makes this loss especially heavy is that James Ransone had spent years openly talking about the pain and trauma he lived with, choosing honesty and vulnerability, even when it was incredibly difficult. In 2021, Ransone opened up about the serious abuse he experienced as a child. He accused a former tutor, Timothy Rualo, of repeatedly assaulting him in the early 1990s at his family home in Maryland. In a long Instagram post addressed to the man he accused, Ransone described the lasting trauma and shame he carried for years, explaining how the abuse silenced him and prevented him from telling anyone at the time. He later reported the allegations to police in 2020. Prosecutors ultimately declined to pursue charges, but Ransone's decision to go public wasn't about a courtroom outcome. It was about naming the trauma and refusing to let it define him in silence anymore. Over the years, he often linked that early pain to his long struggle with addiction, describing a lifetime of shame and embarrassment that fueled years of alcohol and substance use as his acting career was taking off.
I am like a ex-heroin addict, and at 2006 I was on a lot of heroin.
Ransone was also very clear about his recovery. In a 2016 interview, he corrected a common myth that he got sober while working on Generation Kill. He didn't. James said he became sober months before that job, at just 27 years old, after years of addiction. He remembered feeling overwhelmed by the responsibility of the role, questioning whether he could handle it at all. Yet he made it through, showing incredible strength and resilience. He remained sober from 2006 onward, often speaking candidly about how recovery didn't erase the past, but gave him tools to live with it. Behind the scenes, Ransone built a quiet life centered on family. He is survived by his wife, Jamie McPhee, and their two children, Jack and Violet. Jamie stayed almost entirely out of the spotlight. She wasn't chasing red carpets or interviews, and that was clearly intentional. Their life together was private, grounded, and focused on their kids. James and Jamie tied the knot in September 2017 at Rosewood Beach on Lake Michigan, keeping their wedding intimate and private. Jamie occasionally gave fans a peek into their life together on social media, sharing moments full of warmth and humor. In June 2024, she posted a sweet birthday message to James, recalling a playful memory. 15 years ago, late to a birthday dinner at Lil Frankie's, I gave this man a pineapple from a deli with receipt tape as a present that said, "Good for one beach vacation anywhere, anytime." I never expected he'd cash it in so many times. After James's passing, Jamie shared an even more deeply personal tribute, reflecting on their love and the family they built together. "I told you I have loved you 1,000 times before, and I know I will love you again. You told me, I need to be more like you, and you need to be more like me. And you were so right. Thank you for giving me the greatest gifts. You, Jack, and Violet. We are forever." Just days earlier, she had shared a fundraiser supporting the National Alliance on Mental Illness. This gesture resonates deeply with James Ransone's openness about trauma, addiction, and recovery, and may help provide support to those struggling with mental health. At the same time, our thoughts are with James's family during this heartbreaking time, and we wish them strength as they face this immense loss. This sad news comes less than a week after the tragic passing of Rob and Michelle Reiner, marking another heavy moment for Hollywood. As the investigation continues, multiple sources have alleged that the couple were unalived by their son Nick, but authorities stress that the case remains under investigation and no conclusions have been reached. Rob Reiner's career shaped generations of movie lovers. His 1984 directorial debut, This Is Spinal Tap, set the tone, followed by unforgettable classics like Stand By Me, The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, Misery, and A Few Good Men. These films didn't just entertain, they became cultural touchstones, and chances are at least one of them lives rent-free in your head.
How could you not want to be somebody who the world loves as a person, who they also respect as a talent, you know?
But behind the camera, there was also a love story that quietly influenced one of the most iconic romantic endings in film history. Reiner met Michelle Singer in 1989 while working on When Harry Met Sally. They were introduced by the film's cinematographer, Barry Sonnenfeld, who thought they'd be a perfect match. And their first interaction? Not exactly a fairy tale moment. On a double date, Reiner told Michelle, who was smoking at the time, "You know, you really shouldn't smoke, it's not good for your health." Without missing a beat, she shot back, "And you shouldn't be so effing fat." Somehow, that brutally honest moment became the start of something lasting. At the time, Reiner had been single for years and wasn't sure love was still in the cards for him. But meeting Michelle changed that. He later admitted that their relationship directly reshaped when Harry met Sally. Originally, Harry and Sally were supposed to meet years later and walk away from each other. After falling in love himself, Reiner rewrote the ending, giving us that New Year's Eve declaration and the marriage that made rom-com history. The timing was poetic. Rob and Michelle married in 1989, the same year the film hit theaters. Together, they built a life that included 3 children, Jake, Nick, and Romy, and a partnership rooted in friendship. In a 2024 interview, Reiner credited the strength of their marriage to something surprisingly simple. "We get along just great and enjoy each other's company," he said. Simple, but rare. Outside of film, the Reiners were deeply involved in activism, especially marriage equality and early childhood development. Michelle, in particular, was a driving force. As Reiner once put it, "I can honestly say the reason I've done as many things in the political sphere is largely because of her." The Rainers family includes 4 children. Tracy Rayner, now 61, was adopted by Rob during his marriage to Penny Marshall and went on to act in films like Die Hard and A League of Their Own. Their youngest daughter, Romy, is 28 and has built a creative career as an actress, writer, producer, and photographer. Jake, 34, followed his own path into journalism, becoming a television reporter. And Nick, who is 32, has previously spoken openly about his struggles with addiction and homelessness, later sharing how he found recovery and used those experiences to inspire his creative work.
If your kid is going through rough times, you know, the parent is, your main job is to keep your child safe. So I would do anything.
As details continue to emerge, law enforcement has emphasized that no arrests have been made and no one has been officially identified as a suspect. This remains a developing and incredibly sensitive situation, one that has placed the Reiner family under an intense and painful spotlight.